Last chapter, Sherry almost got sucked into the cloud of doom, but she managed to jump into her window at the last second. Our new chapter is chapter 14, Mr. K and Dr. P. Wonder if it's Dr. Pickle. Author's note. Due to strict rules about confidentiality and to avoid unnecessary embarrassment for those involved, the names of the characters have been omitted from this story. Please don't try to guess. Mr. K, headed up the stairs. I think I know who Mr. K is. I know our principal's name is Mr. Kidswater, which starts with the K. So I'm thinking it's the principal. Mr. K headed up the stairs. He wore a paper bag over his head. It was 10 o'clock in the morning. All the little brats, as he liked to call them, should be in class. Oh, it has to be Mr. Kidswater. But he wore a paper bag just in case he encountered a stray child. When he reached the third floor, he tripped over the top step and fell onto the landing. I knew I should have cut some eye holes, he said to himself. His knee hurt, but that was the least of his worries. He got back up on his feet and limped up the stairs. Actually, only one eye hole would have helped. His left eye was shut tight. His other eye was wide open, and the eyebrow was raised in a constant expression of surprise. By counting his steps, he knew that he had reached the fourth floor. He felt his way around the door and knocked. Yes? Who's there? Asked Dr. P from the other side. Mr. K didn't want to say his name out loud in case anyone was listening, so he just opened the door and entered. If Mr. P was surprised to see a person with a bag over his head, well, he didn't show it. He had been trained to keep a straight face, no matter what. Whenever someone came in to see him, it was part of his job to act like everything was perfectly normal. Yes, what seems to be the problem? He asked, stroking his beard. It's gotta be Dr. Pickle. Mr. K removed his bag. Yikes! Screamed Dr. P, throwing both his hands up in the air. He quickly regained his composure. So why did you come to see me? He asked as he rubbed his beard. Mr. K made a noise as he pointed to his face. Oh, that's right. In an earlier chapter, remember he got that silly face stuck when he touched BB, I think? Oh, your face is stuck, said Dr. P. Mr. K nodded, except he's probably like this. Mr. P came closer to get a better look. He poked, oh, that's right, his cheeks were puffed out. He poked a puffed out cheek. Does this hurt? He asked. Mr. K shook his head. How about this? He tugged the tip of Mr. K's nose. Again, Mr. K shook his head. Very interesting. He walked to the bookshelf. He muttered to himself as he tried to find the book he needed. This should do it, he declared, removing a very fat book. He bonked Mr. K on top of the head with it. Oh! Exclaimed Mr. K. Any better? Asked Dr. P. Bit my tongue, Mr. K said without moving his lips. This will be more difficult than I thought, said Dr. P. He returned to the bookshelf, chose a different book, and brought it to the desk. He thumbed through the pages. Cold feet. Sticky fingers. Ah, here we are. Stuck face. He silently read to himself for a minute or two, and then he looked up and said, Did you have a pet when you were a child? Dr. K nodded. Dr. P looked back at his book and read some more. Was it a cat? Mr. K shook his head. A dog. He nodded. Did you love your dog? Mr. K's head didn't move at all. Oh, a tear trickled out of his eye and dripped down his face. Excellent, said Dr. P. I think we're making real progress. He shut the book, scooted his chair up close, and leaned toward Mr. K. Look into my eyes, he said. With his one eye, Mr. K stared at Dr. P. Dr. P stared right back. Oh, he held up his gold chain with a green stone attached. He let the stone swing gently back and forth between them. Their faces were so close, the stone kept barely missing their noses. I'm going to take you back to another time and place, said Dr. P. You are just a young boy playing with your dog in your backyard. Your grandmother smiles from the kitchen window. A pie is baking in the oven. You can smell the cinnamon. Mr. K's nose twitched. Now, your grandmother is outside holding the pie. She asks, Do you want some? Mr. K's tongue remained sticking out. However, it moved slightly from one side of his mouth to the other. Dr. P noted this breakthrough. But instead of giving you the piece of pie, she smashes it in your face. Dr. K's mouth popped open. Then his face snapped back into place. His eyebrows lowered. One eye opened, his cheek unpuffed, his tongue went back inside his mouth where it belonged. "Why did she do that to me?" Mr. K cried. Dr. P handed him a tissue. Mr. K wiped his eyes and cleaned the imaginary pie off his face. He stood up straight and fixed his suit. "You won't tell anybody about this, will you?" he asked. Everything that happens in this story is confidential," Dr. P assured him. That's probably why they changed the names. Mr. K left the office feeling as dignified as ever. Dr. P leaned back in his chair with his hands behind his head. He felt very satisfied. It's not every day he gets to help someone as important as Mr. K. Dr. P's tongue was sticking out. His left eyebrow was raised. His right eye was shut tight, and he looked like he was trying to swallow a tennis ball. Try to make that face. So, sounds like the stuck face went from BB to the principal to Mr. Pickle. Our next chapter is called The Unbreakables. It looks like a good story about friendship. All right, see you guys next time.